Well, welcome to Noel's World of Whiskey, and we are going to do a little Dalmore review. I haven't done Dalmore for a long time. I think the last Dalmore I did was the Sherry Cask there, which is one of the more popular Dalmores. Has very good reviews, but this one here is interesting because when I first saw this, what caught my eye was not the fact that it was a port finish, but the fact that it was 46%. And I have never had a Dalmore that was 46%. So this is a first. So it was just a matter of time. I was going to get myself a Dalmore, and Dalmore's not something I chase after. But certainly I was happy with this guy here, and I think it did well in my review, and it's done well in other reviews. But this guy here, this was quite interesting because I had read some reviews on it, and it fared well. I think the 46% is the intrigue. So I'm really looking forward to a Dalmore that is 46%. Of course, Dalmore's fame is Richard Patterson, the nose. Richard Patterson, better known as the Nose, Richard the Nose Patterson. He's famous. He is a personality. He's known all over the world, and certainly knows what he's doing when it comes to making whiskey. So I will get started here because we want this to sit for at least 12-15 minutes. So let's open up this box here and let's pour ourselves a dram and let it sit. Always like the Dalmore presentation, their box, and same old, but it is a nice presentation, their bottle. And of course the stag, and our trusty old knife out here. Something about a Dalmore bottle. I like that. 46.5%. Exciting. By the looks of the color, knowing Dalmore, why they like to use so much coloring. I mean, they've already got this thing probably cured in sherry or port, and is getting enough color from the cask, because I know they have very good casks in that. But anyways, that's another story. And of course, the same with the chill filtration and that. That's something that Dalmore has been doing. I mean, I always look at Dalmore like the White and Macallan is what it is. They seem to be, they kind of butt horns back and forth, I think, as to which is the most elegant of whiskies. But Dalmore, their bottle is something else. But then again, I do like the Macallan bottles. So there's a lot of pretension in the whiskey business. So anyways, I think we're going to pour ourselves a dram. And I always like to let you take a peek of it and see if we can show those legs this time. I had a little trouble last time showing the legs, but we'll see if we can get the legs showing a little better this time. So anyways, we will bring it up to the camera there so you can see it there. I'm going to stand to the side here because last time my black shirt gets in the way there, so you can just sort of get a bit of a look at it there. Well, you know how this works. We give it I give it a minute for every year. This is not an age statement. I go 15 minutes with it. It's I think a fair time to let this sit in the glass. So we'll see you back in 15 minutes.
Dalmore was established in 1839 by Alexander Matheson, who'd been searching for the perfect location with good water and barley to create the finest whiskey. He located it in a remote uninhabited area at the banks of the Cromarty Firth. Matheson built everything from scratch, including the railways, for his freight and transport. After running Dalmore for 28 years, Alexander Matheson sold the distillery to Andrew and Charles Mackenzie in 1867. The clan Mackenzie were allowed to use their crest, the stag, on the Dalmore whiskey because it had been granted to them by King Alexander III back in 1263. Cullen of Kintail, chief of the clan Mackenzie, saved King Alexander III from a charging stag during a hunt by killing it with a spear. In 1920, a British Royal Navy deep-sea mine exploded in the Firth next to the distillery, destroying many of the buildings and equipment. The legal battle between Dalmore and the Royal Navy lasted over half a decade in the courts, even reaching the House of Lords, before finally being settled in Dalmore's favor. The water source comes from Loch Moray up in the Highlands and runs 25 kilometers down the River Alness to the distillery, feeding the 10-ton fixed-loader mash tun. The sugar and starch are washed out of the malt in 3 mashing processes and sent to 8 49,500-liter Oregon pine washbacks, where the yeast is then added. The fermentation takes 50 hours. Bacteria in the wood contribute to lactobacterial fermentation, which adds to the different aromas and nuances in the character of the whiskey. The 8% ABV beer is sent to 4 wash stills, which have strange flat tops. 2 of the stills are 16,500 liters, and the other 2 are 8,250 liters. The 21% ABV low wines are then sent to 4 spirit stills, 2 11,360 liter stills, and 2 7,340 liter stills. The unusual conical tops have cold water jackets for more reflux copper contact. The new make strength is 69 to 72% ABV, and the cask filling strength is 63.5% ABV. Unlike other distilleries, Excelera casks, which held Oloroso and PX sherry for decades, are preferred over the bespoke casks, more common today. Richard Patterson, through his many connections with the bodegas in Spain and Portugal, has access to port pipes and other wine casks from other countries to experiment with.
Well, welcome back to Noel's World of Whiskey, and we've given it 15 minutes, so we're going to get right into this one here, and we'll give it the nose. Rich. Leather. We got some citrus and some, well, I'd say maybe some nectarines. I'm getting some dark fruit now, and berries, maybe some blackberries. We're getting, with that leather, I'm getting a mixture of cinnamon and maybe even some ginger going on here, but nutmeg, cloves, and certainly getting the baking spices. I'm going to say, God, even maybe some oregano in here. But the leather for sure. It has a rich, very rich nose to it. And a very nice, rich nose. Again, there is fruit going on here, but you do get the tannins. So the sweetness is sort of balanced out with the tannins. Oh boy. Just a flash there of something with that leather. I mean, and it could be the tannin, the leather, the wood, the port. Yeah, because port can be, it comes across to me sometimes different, depending on the presentation, different, different distilleries. But this one here, I am getting now the dark fruits again. And the longer I keep my nose on this, the more I seem to get. Now we're getting, malty notes. even some granola. I get the perfume I'm getting out of here, or the cologne I'm getting off of here is unreal. It's this kind of a rich, musty cologne. Okay, I can keep doing that, by the way. I love the nose of this. To the palate, Solange. One of the better palates for a Dalmore that's affordable. I'm not talking Cigar Malt or the King Alexander. I'm talking about something that's within your pocketbook. Definitely, this is an exceptional dram on the first. I mean, I have the sherry here. I like it. But I like this 46.5%. It's giving me something. Now, we can sit and talk about non-chill filtering. We can talk about coloring. Though I do think that there's proportionately, with the type of cask influence that Richard Patterson does, and of course we have, what's his name? Scott is the new, he's the new distiller. And Andrew Scott is the new, since 2006. And evidently, my understanding is he works very close with Richard Patterson. What was his quote from Whisky magazine? Was he makes the paint, and Richard Patterson paints the masterpiece. Anyways. But the color, when I show you the color, I don't know how much coloring they put in this one here, so I'm going to leave that one alone. But got a good coating on my mouth. I'm going to top that one up. Very, very fruity. I'm going to stay with the berries, the prunes or the plums. Plums with a little bit of spice, oregano, and I mentioned the cloves. Certainly, baking spices are here with the plums. There's even, when I say plums, there's something else going on here. I mean, it's fruity. I'm going to say those red blood oranges mixed in with the plums. And again, coating the mouth. Don't always get a coat on the mouth from a Dalmore. I am going to say also that at 46.5%, I'm experiencing something new from Dalmore. So maybe that's the key. When they beef up the percentage, I'm getting a little bit more out of the drink, and because I am identifying a lot of layers here. So the tannins showing up, a bit of the wood, but I'm just impressed with the coating on the mouth. There's some body to this. You know, it's not as heavy as a Kleinleich, but it has decent body. So we're going to go right into the finish here. Solange. Right back to the port. But the port is not overpowering. It's not oversweet. It's definitely well balanced within the presentation with the other fruits. And I have to mention that this was originally matured in bourbon casks, so we are getting a wee bit of that too when I was talking the citrus notes. And I'm not getting the vanilla and all that, but at times I'm getting a little blast of, I'm going to say maybe some toffee or you know, chocolate. Chocolate and coffee mixed together, more like a mocha. Actually, more like a mocha cake. But interesting. I'm just surprised with the coating on the mouth. I'm not used to that with the Dalmore. So, anyways, I'm going to add a little bit of water to this, but I'm going to have to top it up a little bit because I did consume a little more of this than I normally do. So there we are. Let's give it a little bit of water, and we can because it's 46%. Now, I seem a little excited for Dalmore when I don't usually get excited with Dalmore. I mean, I've tried a lot of Dalmores through the years for friends. A lot of my friends have Dalmores. I don't have a lot of Dalmores. I got 3 Dalmores. So this is kind of, this is unusual to get all excited for a Dalmore when it's not really your go-to. But when I picked up this this bottle, I kind of had an idea. I think I watched a few reviews on it there, and I was getting a little bit more warm toward the port, the Dalmore Port, because up till then I'd had no interest. Last year I had no interest whatsoever. Every time I go by a Dalmore in a liquor store, I have no interest in it. And this suddenly sparked up a little bit of interest when I saw the 46.5, and the price was still reasonable. I mean, it's still a little on the high side, but it's no different than some of the other presentations that I have. And well, this is kind of, the water is kind of doing its thing there. I'm just going to show you. I mean, I've got here, this is a port wood. It's a Glendronach, and I was happy with that one. This is the old standby, the Quinta Reuben. I've had a few bottles of this through the years, and that because the Quinta Reuben is accessible and also affordable. One of the more affordable ones, and it's not a bad, for the price it's actually very good. And then I have the Tomatin. I found with the Tomatin here, when I would never bought the second bottle until I let it sit a bit longer in the glass. And when the Tomatin came down, this is typical of Tomatin, when it started coming down a little bit, and I just say maybe 2/3 of its of the bottle, and now we're down even more. It really opened up and really smartened up. So I think Tomatin, that's one thing I've learned. Same with the 18-year-old. Anyways, we've added a little bit of water here. And a couple of drops, I think. So let's give it a nose. Again, I'm getting the port coming through real clear, but I've got some tobacco now going on. So sort of a spicy, I'm going to say a pipe. The fruits are sort of, they're morphing here because I started off with they're darker fruits. It's going the other direction now. I'm getting some citrusy stuff going on here. Like I mentioned, the nectarines, maybe even more peaches. So some citrus stuff happening. And I don't know if that's the bourbon influence or whatever. It's just a funny order that it came in. But it's the way the nose goes. With water, the palate. The very first word is delicious. Christmas. Fruitcake. And then we're getting black forest cake. Here comes the mocha. Very slight bit of black licorice going on here. And I'm looking at legs. I'm still looking at, even with the water, I'm looking at legs on this glass here. So don't usually see legs on a Dalmore. Good coating. Overall, pretty impressive, very impressive drink. And originally this would have been part of a blend, but today there's such a demand for Dalmore that they can't they can't sell it, you know, to blenders. They sell it as a single malt because they have trouble keeping up with the demand, and that's part of the reason you see the price skyrocket. The same with Macallans, and I always say, well, how can they afford to charge that? Well, part of the reason they can afford it is because the demand. It's just they are not able to keep up with the demand, so it means that's what happens to the price. So, anyways, one last little shot here, and we'll give this thing a score. And I'm just going to say delicious. This is somewhere between an 84 and an 85. I never thought a Dalmore would ever hit that score, but I'm certain the King Alexander would. But not the Dalmores that I've experienced in the past. This is one of the best Dalmores I've had. So, but I haven't had the King Alexander. So I hear the Cigar Malt's pretty good too. So. But anyways, that's where I'm going to leave it. It's somewhere between an 84 and an 85. And I'm pretty happy about this guy here, It's just nice to see that we've got a good presentation. I don't know who is taking over from Richard Patterson, that is the new master distiller. He's been with him for so long. Now he's involved with some of the newer distilleries. I think there's one that I did a presentation on all the new distilleries that are starting up in Scotland there, and he's definitely involved with one of them. I think it's out of Edinburgh, just west of Edinburgh there. So, but anyways, I am going to leave it at that. Good purchase. Recommend it. I paid around $130, around the $130 Canadian. Remember, it's Canadian. Our dollar's not worth a lot, so I'm happy. I think this is by far. I would rather spend $130 on this than $100 for, the 12. I think it was on sale too. I could have bought the 12. It was on sale for around $100, but yeah, this guy. So I'm going to ask you to drink wisely, drink intelligently, and do not drink and drive. Until the next time, so on.